Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Fine. And you?
Run a little late. Just a couple minutes. And
Okay.
otherwise I'm doing good.
Okay.
Uh Apparently for some reason the new Zoom is not showing me the old meetings. So I had to jump through some hoops to get the meeting started today.
Oh, well, I just added the new Zoom, a couple hours ago, and seems to be working okay. I don't, of course, I not being the host, I don't know that I'd see the same effect.
Yeah, I would have to say that you're probably not seeing what I'm seeing
Yep.
from from my side. Here comes Steve. Maybe Steve will know when he gets here.
Excuse me. Ah, here's Steve.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure. The same thing happened last week, and I thought maybe it was a glitch from having to connect and reconnect to the library internet,
Yeah.
but apparently not.
Yeah. Well, the library internet is out of the loop today. So,
Yeah. So
hey,
apparently
Steve, can you hear us? Steve? Steve is frozen.
Steve is frozen.
Hmm, hold
There's
on.
unfroze. Can you hear us?
I can, but
Okay.
not sure what that was about. Came back and said that my internet connection was unstable, and my internet connection is not unstable. I am
I
offended.
I highly doubt that your internet connection is unstable.
Well, you know,
I I am on the work machine though, and
Oh, are
I'm
you?
going through the VPN, and I don't know, it may be doing weird routing stuff.
yeah,
And apologies because I've am still at work.
Oh, yeah, you're
you're at
doing weird.
work.
You're doing weird stuff.
Well, you froze again. You froze.
Oh,
I didn't. You all did.
nope, nope, nope,
Nope, sorry.
nope.
Leroy
Uh,
was still moving and you were basically catatonic.
Uh, sorry.
it's is what it is. Uh, the if you set up future meetings for us, they're not showing up in the list of calendar anymore. I'm
I
having.
didn't.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, that
I
might ex
I
that
set
might
up some for
explain it.
me.
Okay. Well, that might explain why they're not showing showing up in the count. I've just been going back to a previous time and restarting the meeting. So, but
Well, I have the meeting number, whatever that identifier is, permanently installed in my Zoom. And as it turns out, when I upgrade to the next version of Zoom, it still is there. So, excuse me.
I usually see. Well, I had been seeing a list of upcoming events, and I'm not seeing that anymore. But but if it's not sh if there's no future events, then that would explain that. So.
Now, are you on the latest version of Zoom?
I just updated today, so I should be.
It's 6.3.2. not 6, but a higher number. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it's 10.
Well, I should be. It updated this afternoon, so
Yeah, mine was updated. I updated it, well, probably this morning my time, but this afternoon your time.
it's such a pain to find now. About Zoom, that's what we want.
Yeah, it
Six
used
point.
to be.
Sorry.
So apologies. Used to be there was an icon in the upper corner you could click on that had help and about, but that seems to be gone.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
under more now.
Okay.
Is it? No, it's not. No,
Mm-mm.
it's under uh your username. And then you go down to help and about. And I've got 6.3.10.
Yeah, that's what I'm on also.
So
So where do
I
you find that number?
on the main Zoom screen, the starting screen, if you click on your username, well, or your letters, mine says MP. Yours would probably say art or something. And then you go down to help and then about Zoom.
Hmm.
So on this machine, I'm not signed into Zoom,
Okay.
so I don't
You don't
maybe
have
view
that.
profile.
Oh, there's
Weird.
let's uh let's see here. Let's see here. Can you see that? Can you see the
Yes.
workspace? All right. So I've got this little MP right here, and if I click
Okay.
that,
Sorry. What I meant to say was yes, we can see it, but all we see is a black square.
nice. Okay. Well, that doesn't work. Wonderful.
Actually,
Uh,
if you switch cameras in OBS, it probably would.
I'm not using OBS right now.
Ah,
I was running a little behind. Um, Patty Patty actually made dinner early today, and I was eating, and then all of a sudden it was 5 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, it's 5 o'clock. So you know how you know how that time just kind of creeps up on you all of a sudden.
yeah.
Let's uh let's see if I could do something else. So maybe maybe if I why isn't it okay? Oh, um, let's see. And where did it save the picture to? There it is. I'm going to drop a picture in the chat and see if you guys could see that.
Okay. Nothing so far.
Type a message. Okay. There we go. Maybe that'll work.
Ah, yes. Yes.
Gosh, make us jump through hoops just to do simple things. So up in the right-hand corner, you'll see MP of that picture. And if you click on that MP, which would be something different for everybody because that's your username, and go down to help, you'll see about Zoom. That's where it's
But
hiding at now.
but you only get that if you're actually
It's signed
signed
in,
into Zoom.
apparently. So I don't know what to do for you, Steve, because you're not signed in. So,
I would have expected Zoom to.
and he froze up again. You froze up again, Steve.
Sorry.
Your workplace that should have really good internet is not doing you favors today. I think
Hi,
you
Mike.
I think he froze up again. Oh,
Yep. Yeah, I can see you moving. I can see Mike moving. I can see myself moving. But
Oh, yeah.
Steve's back again.
Spring
I have
thaw.
version 6.2.11 50939.
okay.
6.2. Okay, I'm on 6.3.10. Got 10. Okay.
So you're on a slightly older version. It should still work.
Would think so.
So
We discussed this before. I'm on the latest version supported by Windows 7.
Ooh,
I hear two problems with that statement. Windows 7,
Yes.
and
At
Windows.
least two problems.
at least two problems with that. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh so uh
Well,
anything
I'm on Linux Mint latest version,
yeah.
latest released version, and I'm on 6.3.10.
Yeah.
6.3.10. Yeah.
I'm actually on Linux Mint 21.3, which is the previous version, but for some reason it runs really, really stable, and 22 doesn't run so stable on this laptop. So
Well, the latest I think is
22.1,
22.3.1, right?
22.1. I don't think they've, I don't think we're that far into it. But for some reason, 22 just did not want to run stable on this laptop. So I not real sure why. The laptop way meets way more of the specs and the minimum specs. Yeah, 22.1. So, um, the only thing that this thing's got that I kind of question is it's got a NVIDIA graphics card. So Linux and NVIDIA sometimes don't play well together. But I've got another machine from uh this general uh age that doesn't like 22 either. It liked 21, but it doesn't like 22. So
Mike, you're on Windows?
This machine I've left on Windows 7 so I can continue to operate a 2003 version of Office.
Okay.
All of my access, my business records are under access there, and I don't want to have to fart around with changing them. And I have two machines that are running Windows 10 and one that's running Windows 11, and another laptop that's running Windows 7. Yeah,
So Windows 10 will not run this version of the version of Office that you want.
that's correct. It's incompatible with it. And I have the newer versions of Office, uh, but I don't like them. They are uh, hard to use, and in my opinion, there's no advantage for me to learn to use them.
Have you tried LibreOffice?
That's what Steve had suggested that several months ago. I downloaded it, and that's what I use for all of my current stuff. But I have to maintain backward compatibility with stuff that I started, gosh, 25 years ago.
So LibreOffice will not work with the older version of Office then.
Um, I'm kind of divided because it's not just word processing documents; it's also the database that I have for well, as you might know, I do some consulting, and the records for that consulting are in Access, and that's what I want to maintain so I can go back and look at. I haven't explored whether Libre will do that or not, uh, because, like I said, I maintained Windows 7 on this machine to be able to go back and do that. So it's two separate worlds, word processing and the Access.
I have nothing to add.
Well,
I,
just
I know.
kind of a funny aside. Yesterday, they I give blood and have given blood since I was like 13 years old. So I go in and I'm doing a double red donation, and they have music playing in the background. And I start paying attention, and I realize this music is like 57 or 58 years old. And I turned to the woman that's attending the apparatus, and I said, "This is like 58-year-old music." And she says, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, this came with British invasion." She has no idea what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Really? Well, how old's this woman?
It wasn't her age. I discovered that she grew up in Russia, and Russia had no concept of a British invasion.
Ah,
There's a little flea market here in Franklin over by the highway. It's a 7 day a week kind of antique mall kind of flea market. It's more flea market than antique mall, but it's that sort of thing. And they play the Beatles constantly in there. And I'm walking through one day with Patty, and I go, "Who's this?" And she looks up at me and she says, "I really, really hate the Beatles. Why do you keep coming here?" Like, because they're playing the Beatles. That's it. They've got some sort of Wi-Fi speaker deal in there, pipe through the rest of the thing, the building, and it's Spotify. So every now and then you'll get the Spotify commercials because they're doing it for free.
Yeah.
But they're playing the Beatle channel or whatever whatever that is from Spotify.
Well, so was this early Beatles or late Beatles?
It's
Just Beatles.
it's just Beatles. I would say it. Well, there's a lot of stuff I recognize, so it it can't be too early. I don't think I really started listening to the Beatles until maybe the White Album. So,
Okay.
and there's a lot of stuff I recognize. Of course, the Beatles are once you know their voices, it's pretty easy to pick them out. So, but I can look at or I could listen to a lot of what they're playing and tell you the names of the songs and everything. So that's not,
The one that I can't stand is the Beach Boys.
yeah, yeah.
I was a roadie with the Beach Boys for 3 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yep. They played at Kings Island in 93, I think. Um, and I worked in the sound department there. We did all the background sound and ride sound and cameras, basically anything low voltage we did. And I helped them set up. They they were missing one of their roadies, and I don't know what happened. He wasn't there. But afterwards they were like, "Hey, you want to join us for a while?" I talked to my boss and I'm like, "Mind if I leave for a bit?" He said, "Okay." So yeah, for 3 weeks until their original roadie came back. And you're right, I don't like their music either.
Well, were
Well,
they all still alive then?
No, one had passed.
like once a month, I wouldn't mind hearing a Beach Boy song just for a little flavor, but a steady diet would be unacceptable.
Anybody interested in seeing what's involved in building a VM at Siemens?
Sure.
Oh, sure. That's
Yeah.
great.
Okay. So this is our web interface to VMware. It's called vSphere, and I'm building machines in this cluster. That cluster is made up of this list of hosts. And anything with that icon is physical hardware. Anything with this icon is virtual. So I want to create a new virtual machine, give it a name, copy and paste is wonderful. Um, in that, so each one of these has minimum a few hundred physical hosts in it. And we're going to put that on CI 1017 for storage. That has 15 terabytes of free storage. Make sure it's 8 and later. Linux box, Red Hat 8. It isn't actually Red Hat, but that's okay. We're using Rocky, but I wanted these to all be the same. 16 cores in the processor. These things are huge compared to our normal machines. A terabyte of storage. Connect them to this particular network. networks in Milford are interesting.
In what regard?
We have 600 of them, 600 VLANs.
Okay.
I don't even know what most of them do. We're going to boot off of this ISO file. And I hate EFI. And just in case things get weird, I give myself 5 seconds to actually log in. So that's being generated. It exists now. It's turned off. Launch a remote console. Oh, not quite ready yet. Down here. Now it is. Can be turned on. Hmm. Did I not connect the network?
You broke it.
Forgot to put the CD in.
Okay.
That's what it's supposed to look like. So we have data centers all over the place. In America, these. We've got scripts set up to set up machines for the most part. Some of them are just completely automatic. They just start up and go. This one is one that isn't partitioned because I like making some changes to the partitioning. And there's 4 people building machines right now, so this part is slower than normal. When things are running right, we're on this screen for about 10 seconds.
So is all the hardware for this actually over there on the hill where you are?
Yes.
So you must have a pretty hardened site there, I would assume.
3 different authentications to get into the server room.
Not the question. Your power is fairly hard over there?
Oh, yeah. We've got battery backup, generators, and lines that if anything happens, Duke Energy is there within an hour.
Well, it's interesting. My house over there on the opposite hill, I have had 2 hard power failures in the last, I don't know, month, both of which were apparently caused by somebody uh, taking out a power pole.
I thought you were going to say caused by someone at Siemens running a virtual network.
No, no, no. It turns out that apparently they've got a power pole someplace or another. Uh, up in our development, everything's underground, so we don't have to worry about this. But there's someplace coming into the development where there's a power pole that is exposed, meaning that somebody misses a turn and wipes out the pole.
We had a 4 months ago, maybe. I don't know. We had a power outage not too long ago, and all the street lights were out. Our apartment was fine. Half of the road was out, but all the street lights were out except for the one right in front of Walmart. And the the
Okay.
only thing I could figure is they had a generator that was wired wrong and was powering those street lights as well as the coolers and whatever they were trying to keep running.
It may not have been wired wrong. It may be that they wanted those lights on their circuits. They don't take much power.
No, but it's just odd. You're cruising down the road and all the lights are out everywhere. Everywhere all the lights are out. And this one set of lights is on. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, the gas station in front of Walmart was on. So, but everything else was off. I mean, it was odd. It was an odd feeling.
So Walmart has a gas station?
Murphy Gas is theirs, but
Yeah.
there was a speedway, there's a speedway in front of ours, and it was on. I don't know. Speedway may have they may have a generator themselves, but you know, travel another half mile down the road and everything's back on again. But for a good mile, everything was off except for that one set of lights.
So I was configuring two of these at the same time. This one I had already finished. This one's still downloading stuff. But we run a script on there that verifies that the host name exists in Active Directory and then basically just does everything. Gets really easy after a while until something doesn't work. Then it's a lot of fun. Somewhere in the last 2,000 lines that scrolled by, there was a mistake. Find it.
I saw yellow warnings. Does that count?
Yeah, there's supposed to be some.
Yeah. I like compiling code and seeing warnings and the code still works. Okay. Guess that's not a big deal.
So this one should be complete. Oops. I think it was 081. No, nope, 080. Oh, come on, timeout already. That's better. Also, looks like I mistyped the host name before. There we go. So 999 gigs in the root file system. Everything that counts is available. It's used 14 gigs to do the install. That's because this is a developer install. But that's about it. That machine is ready to go.
Well, that's a lot more complicated than the virtual machine I run on one of the Windows 10 machines. Um, I run a virtual machine running Windows 7 on a Windows 10 machine. And the setup and execution of that is like 1/1000th of what you just showed.
Are you actually using VMware or using some other virtual system?
Uh, it's it's downstairs on a different machine. I haven't used it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, and I just don't really remember what the software is. My main problem is that it is uh, an alternate universe. Uh, Anything I do in that virtual machine, I can't save and access when I get back to Windows 10. My workaround is emailing it to myself. The email portal tunnels between the two of them, but I don't seem to be able to do that with anything else. But Steve's setup there was very impressive.
Some of the other fun stuff it does, if the hardware that the VM is running on dies, the VM doesn't shut down. It just moves to a different piece of hardware. I can be connected to it, streaming a YouTube video. The physical hardware dies, that video won't skip. It is really sweet. Every single machine is set up as high availability.
That, that's cool. I I've got what is it? VirtualBox installed on a couple of machines,
Mhm.
but I I haven't really used that I used to use it quite a bit, but Linux does everything I need it to do now, so I really haven't used VirtualBox. So I'm not even sure that it's I've got any virtual machines actually still set up for it.
I'm not sure if this will run well or not, but let's give it a try. So this is a physical machine that's in my cube at work. I use RDP to connect to it, but it is a Linux box.
Running what?
Um, Rocky 8, maybe Rocky 9, sorry. And I run a couple of VMs on it, though they're not always running. I'm running under QEMU and KVM. So this is my Mint box running under KVM on another machine. KVM is pretty straightforward and easy to set up. I mean, if you're starting from scratch, it's, I don't know, 15 commands from the build to you've got a machine running VMs. And I mean, they're VMs. They do what you expect them to do. No. Well, and this is why I have this file here, because I don't remember what the password is on these things. But yeah, so 122 packages can be upgraded. We'll let that go. And while
Yes.
it's going, we'll make another machine. So create a new virtual machine from local install media. Um, I like Cinnamon 22. Hmm. Um, yeah, whatever. It's fine.
Mm.
What you doing? Yeah, doesn't have much memory. I probably should have given it more.
The setup.
Normally I make some changes there, but meh. But again, this is happening far, far away. Could be anywhere. Um, on other stuff, this piece of software, MOBA Xterm, absolutely wonderful software for connecting to a lot of machines. Um, everything in this list. Oops, come back here. These are all machines that at some point in the past I've connected to and done work on. Um, I don't even know what they all are. But
What'd you
double click
say?
and
Did you say MOBA X term?
yeah, if you're stuck using Windows and you need to connect to Linux boxes, MOBA Xterm. This is one of the few pieces of software that I actually pay for. Um, I can connect to SSH, Telnet, RSH, RDP, VNC, FTP, pretty much anything you want. I can start a local shell. Um, it has games. This one's kind of scary. A terminal-based solitaire game.
I've played one of those before.
Oh, and I tend to install XRDP onto Linux boxes just so I can get a remote graphical interface. Hmm. Not sure why the buttons are hidden down here, but it'll keep doing that in the background. I can reconnect to it at any point. Oh, yeah. It's pegging those two CPUs and this other one not doing much at all.
Mm.
Oh, forgot. Perfect. But yeah, running KVM on top of a Linux box, very easy. Um, if anybody's interested, I picked up a machine 2 months ago for $100 that came with two spare processors. It's a Dell Optiplex 7210 dual Xeon. It had an 8-core processor installed that shows up as 16 cores in Linux, but it came with two spare processors that were 10 cores each. So 20 physical cores and 40 virtual cores, 40 threads. I've got, I have upgraded it with spare bits from work. So it's now got 256 gigs of RAM, maybe 512, a lot. Um, I can run probably 10 or 12 VMs on it. And next Linux meeting is this Saturday. I'm going to bring it in and show the setup on it. So, toys, if anybody wants to see.
Cool.
So where did you get this?
Barry pointed it out to me. It was for sale on Craigslist. He said, I don't know the seller, but it's a good deal for the hardware. I went and looked at it, and it was indeed a good price for the hardware. So it's sweet.
So it was someplace physically local to you.
Oh, yeah. Mount Washington.
Okay.
Did that just say be productive?
What?
Nothing. It's all right. I think your screen said be productive.
Oh, yeah, it does. Install software, do stuff.
I don't usually pay attention to the installer. I just saw it. I was like,
Mm,
what? We're being productive.
yeah.
The machine's dissing us. Ray's here. Hi, Ray.
Hello.
Valued.
Hello.
What's going on, Ray?
Uh, Laser stuff. Lots of laser stuff. Um, I'm in Cookeville, Tennessee. That's like right in the middle of the United States, I guess. Um, Laser works great, but this is a very special big laser. It has a conveyor built into it, and it has an end feed roller mechanism, and so it unwinds and rewinds. And then it has an outfeed mechanism for stuff, and it doesn't unwind and rewind. My problem is it doesn't unwind correctly on the rewind station, and the rewind station, the unwind station doesn't rewind correctly. So it's crazy. But so I got to fix that. But I'm only allowed in the building for certain hours of the day, and they just kicked me out. I'm like, okay, well, what do I get to go do? I get to go buy a toothbrush and toothpaste, and oh, wait a minute, the meeting's going on. Okay, so now I'm here.
Cool.
And I was really intrigued when I got into the middle of the conversation, and Steve was talking about $100 for this huge, great server. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll take that. But yeah, I got a whole bunch of parts and stuff. I figured Steve was gonna help me put them together. So whatever we need to do.
Well, Ray, since we're being virtual, you really don't need a mouthwash. We would never notice.
Got plenty of it though. Yeah.
So you now are in a pharmacy or what?
Dollar General Market, DG Market. You haven't heard of that, have you? DG Markets, Dollar General Markets. So, and where we live at in Ohio, you go around everywhere, and there's just Dollar General stores. But a Dollar General market is like a small grocery store plus a large Dollar General store. And they're neat. Um, Basically, it's for areas where the large supermarket stores just haven't taken hold of the area yet. So Walmarts are not as dominant in the area. But Cookville, actually, I think they have a Walmart and a Sam's Club, and oddly, they have a Dollar General market. But,
So it's like a Family Dollar.
um, like a
Right.
Family Dollar plus a small grocery store. So there's actually fruits and vegetables and stuff on the other side of the
Oh,
building.
okay. Family
And I think
Dollar. Family Dollar sells groceries, but they don't sell fruits and vegetables.
I don't know, but there's like fresh market, frozen foods, milk, bread, cereal, all kinds of stuff over there. Kind of neat.
Interesting.
Um, Speaking of Dollar General, do you guys know how many Dollar Generals are in the United States?
No.
700.
Ooh,
Way more than 700. But
3,000.
it's more of a joke because even Dollar General doesn't quite know how many Dollar General stores they have. And that's the truth. They don't know how many they've got. It's just stupid because they got so many popping up all the time.
How many of them have roof leaks like that one you're in?
Um,
Most of them.
have exactly what?
Roof leaks.
Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of roof leaks here. Yeah, wow. Hey, I got roof problems of my own. You guys see my building before? It's crazy. But I'm getting that solved as soon as the temperature is adequate. I've already found a new roof company, and they'll be redoing the roof over there to make sure everything stays nice and dry. It's taken a long time to find people like that. Um, I do expect to be home for the weekend, so that would be good.
Well, several decades ago, there was a Helen Mirren uh, series, and she is a detective chief inspector, and she is trying to find a way into her prime suspect's environment, and she discovers it by um, using his girlfriend. And the prime suspect goes back to his girlfriend, Myra, and starts interrogating her about what the Helen Mirren detective is inquiring about. And she says, I don't want to talk to you. I have problems of my own. So Ray's not interested in the roof leaks there because he has problems of his own.
Yeah, problems of my own, exactly. Uh,
I bet Ray would be happy if somebody wanted to buy one of those big laser machines at his warehouse, though.
I would. I would very much. Um, Seeing as how I got 3 of them and I don't even use one of them, I'd be happy to get rid of one of them or two. So,
And recoup
So,
some money.
so are you
Yeah.
still able to buy to source lasers out of China?
yeah, of course. I mean, the price went up. They're not like unreachable. The prices are up higher. That's all. You know, prices went up 10% over what they were 2 months ago. So, yeah, it's more expensive. It kills my profit margin. Is it going to put me out of business? No. No, we'll be all right.
It's not just that the price went up, though, right? It's also the tariff.
Oh, the tariff's gone up, not which is my total price. I wasn't trying to be overly detailed. The prices have actually stayed the same. The costs from the factory, all that stuff is the same. the total price up 10%, or the tariffs went up 10% of the cost of goods. So if I pay $100,000 for all the goods in the shipping container, then 10 years ago the tariff was 4%, and then the tariffs went up to 28%, and now the tariffs are now 38%. So that last 10% came from recent stuff with Trump. So, but it is what it is, and much as it sucks, it hopefully will make our economy better. I mean, there's a crap ton of stuff going on that it's all included in the government politics and finances. But I can root for them and say go go happy go, but I'd love for them to fix all of our government problems. I think if they solved our internal piss poor spending, then I don't think they would have to increase the tariffs. I mean, increasing tariffs is a crap load of money. I mean, it's an incredible crap load of money. But talking about the mismanagement of our funds in our government, that's a lot of money that's being mismanaged. I tried to talk to one guy about it. He's like, "Oh no, you're just listening to false news. That's all just false news. We're not really giving $50,000 to some other country for condoms." I'm like, yes, we did. You just didn't want to believe it.
Yeah, I
That's a lot of
beg to differ
condoms.
with you there. I may have mentioned my brother-in-law was a special agent for the IRS, and
I did not know.
he was a trained forensic analyst in terms of bookkeeping.
Mm.
And he would go into a place and say, I'd like to see these documents. And the instance he told me about, they wheeled in 20 file cabinets into his little work area. It's
They're just trying to
possible to
inundate
go
him with work so that you don't find the real problems.
right. There's so much stuff that it would be physically impossible to go through the federal government and have any idea what is being done, let alone 20 file cabinets. I had 16 in my office. You couldn't go through that much paperwork.
I
And look at
have
it.
2 bankers boxes. Like, what I'm talking about. The banker boxes are like,
Yeah.
2 per year for the laser business. And if they want to go back for 10 years, I mean, that's 20 boxes of stuff. And no, I'm not going to keep it on digital file form because I'm not going to make that easy.
Well, my point was simply that you can't possibly analyze the spending of the federal government in a year or 10 years, let alone a matter of weeks.
And that's one way that people are trying to get away with all the stuff that they're stealing money.
Yeah. There are going to be thieves everywhere. No question about that.
Lots of them in the government.
I was friends with an internal auditor with Armco or AK, and she went down to, I believe it was Argentina, and discovered massive fraud. And she said, I'll be back after lunch. Left her coat, left her purse, got in a cab, went to the airport, and had her ticket and passport and returned home because she was concerned that had she disclosed her findings, she would have been disappeared. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
She left her purse. Boy, that's
I'm sure the purse was empty, but
Yeah.
it was just a distraction for
Yeah.
people to think
If
that she was
somebody
coming
says,
back.
I'm going to come back from lunch, I'll see you in a few minutes, and they take their suitcase with them, you get suspicious.
Yep.
I have a sandwich in my suitcase.
Vicente, still, you're there? You're back in the
Yeah.
country now?
Yeah, in the country, yeah.
Awesome.
I was with my parents in Spain.
Oh.
Yeah.
Eating a lot. Eating. Well, actually, now I am eating also.
Ah,
Turkish apricots.
Yeah, I love them.
Those are
I don't
dried?
know why.
Those are
Dry,
dry.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dry and dark.
Yeah. I like dried apricots also, but it spikes my glucose like mad.
They're extremely sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think any dried fruit tends to be. I think raisins or even prunes.
Guys are making me hungry.
Where are you raised?
You should never go shopping when you're hungry.
You are in the
This is
airport?
true.
Without a list, it's dangerous.
Oh,
yeah.
right now.
It
In the
reminds me, I
supermarket.
was several years ago, like 10 years ago, I was on the phone with a customer and, we were not on video, just talking. And, I'm like, hey, check the voltage on this wire, check the voltage on that wire. And, okay, well, you need to move this wire over to here, check this, check that. Oh, that sounds great. Everything's working fine now. He's like, oh, hey, while I got you on the phone, Ray, can I order this? I'm like, dude, I am in the cereal aisle at Kroger's. And it was the first time he had a chance to realize I was not at my desk. I was actually in the cereal aisle at Kroger's. And he's like, oh my God, how can you do this? You're just walking around. Well, this is my job. It's not my little hobby, my job. So,
Because Ray knows stuff.
well, if you want to be good at your job, you should know your job really well.
Well, back to the shopping without a list when you're hungry. In I believe it was 1971, two gentlemen that I was in green uniform with had come in and said, "Oh, we went to the commissary last night, and we were hungry and we were stoned, and we brought home so much stuff. We don't know when we're going to ever eat it." And one of them said, "Well, if we get stoned tonight, we'll probably do it tonight." uh,
Yep. I don't remember what we were doing, but we were at Kroger's, obviously, because that's where she works. And she goes, I am so hungry. I'm like, it's not a good place to be if you're hungry. There's so much there. The biggest thing with her is she can't decide what to eat. She would eat a lot of stuff, but she can't decide which stuff she actually wants to eat. So
we were Julie and I were outside discussing what is it we're going to have for supper tonight. Well, what about this? Well, it'd be okay. What about this? It'd be okay. And a little girl from across the street came over and said, are you guys hungry? Do you not have food? We have food at our house. I can bring you some food. And I thought it was really, really nice for a girl her age, 8 or 10, to recognize that there are people who are food deprived and was willing to share.
Yeah.
And we assured her that no, we were food secure, and we were just trying to decide what to eat. So she came up and said, "Well, if you have eggs, you can always do something with eggs." So when Julie and I get involved in that discussion again, that it comes up. Well, do we have eggs? We can always do something with eggs.
These days, that's premium food.
Yes.
I don't know about there, but eggs here are between $7 and $8 a dozen.
I don't go to the grocery store because it makes my heart break.
I I know Patty stopped buying eggs, but I don't know what the price was when she stopped buying them. She just said they were getting too expensive to buy. Um, so you know, last week, of course, we were helping Mike, but mostly. But I was
Yeah, I
playing,
appreciate that very much. Thank you.
but I was
How
playing.
how how was Mason library?
Internet kind of is terrible, but the
Oh,
library is nice.
Yeah, the facility looked very nice.
But the speaking of, while we're speaking of it, um, I couldn't book the library
Mason.
for March. I booked it for April 10th. That's the Mason Library is in April 10th. That hasn't been approved yet. I'm expecting, you know, tomorrow or Monday. Um, but we got March. The first week, the first Thursday in March is at Westchester, and the first Thursday in April is at Westchester. So our next time to actually test Mason will be, I think it's April 10th.
Oh,
It's
it won't be available in March?
no apparently I missed March completely, which we sort of kind of knew probably was going to happen because I waited for as long as I waited. What's odd about me waiting that long was Westchester was actually available still for one day in March. For the first week in March it was available, but for the second week in March it wasn't. So we're going to be virtual three weeks in March and have one in-person meeting, which, you know, we'll just adapt. We'll adapt and do what we have to do. But when I waited, I kind of knew that I was pushing my luck to try to book a room that late in the game. You really kind of got to get these rooms booked a couple of months ahead of time. So so April, we're all right with
okay.
April. Um, so yeah. Okay. So I was playing around with that joystick. Um,
So, Ray, are you really outside or is that a fake background?
That's my ride.
That's your ride. Okay.
so last week I was playing with that joystick trying to get something going, and I couldn't get it to turn. What was it? Right? It would turn left.
Oh,
Um, and I had come to the conclusion that this joystick just really isn't that great. It's only got what is it? 256 uh the analog only goes to like
maybe it's
412 or 512. It's 200 in both directions. So it's negative 200 and negative and positive 200. Which is not a great resolution for a joystick. So I tried this joystick, which is a little bit better, but not by much. It's got a better resolution, but it also is very jittery. So it doesn't quite work as well as I want it to. It does seem to work better with this though. Maybe. Maybe. Come on. Do your thing. Why aren't you working? Okay.
Are the wheels turning at all?
No, it's making a liar out of me again. There we go. See this one wheel? I don't know if you could tell. It's jittery. And the joystick, you see how I don't know if you can tell on the video, but this one wheel is moving extremely slow. Well, they both are. They're moving extremely slow. The joystick is centered, but there's some play in the joystick. It keeps jumping around. It keeps going from 0 up to negative 70. So there's some drift in the joystick, so it's not a great joystick. But it does seem like it wants to work a little bit better than. So I need to get a good joystick, I think. Oh, that
You need to create a dead zone of
Yeah, I created a
plus
dead zone in the
plus
middle
minus.
or an adjustment.
I did. And I've played around with the adjustment quite a bit, and this is the best I could get to do.
Maybe you need to make it wider or bigger.
If I go
the
too
zone.
wide, if I go too wide, it's only in one direction that there's a dead zone or a really bad thing. But if I make it too wide, the joystick stops working. I don't get anything. It I gotta play with it some more. I messed with it last night and got it working. It's working a lot better than it was.
This is self-balancing or
No, no, you haven't seen this yet. This is the
no? Where is the third wheel? The caster wheel or something?
no, it's basically a tail dragger. Those are
Okay.
just
Yeah.
so it sits.
Okay.
Sits like that or like
Okay.
that. So it doesn't flop over. Um, those are those BLDC motors from M5, and I've 3D printed the
The
wheel,
wheels,
and I 3D printed the using TPU. Uh, so
the
so
rubber, the
I got some rubber on there, and they do it. It still does slip some, but it's not horrible. Um, the worst thing, the battery's not really attached. You can see I got zip ties there to actually hold the
Mhm.
battery in because when I didn't have the zip ties in, it would turn and the battery would shift over and it would just start turning the direction that the battery was. So it's not balanced real well. But it seems like it's working, sort of. Um, so I didn't change the code on the robot. I only changed the code a bit for the new
In
for
the
the
joystick.
different joystick. And I was counting, because this only has like a resolution of like 400 or somewhere like that. I was multiplying that in here, so I think that that's part of the problem too. So I think, especially when I tried to go full speed, it's kind of jumping around a bit. So I've got to modify the code for the robot. Probably put a
Do- Doesn't make any sound. It's noisy. No, no, no. I can't hear anything.
No, it's not. The 3D printer's louder than this thing is. What's interesting is I pretty much just took the code that I was using for this thing
Mhm.
and changed how the motors work. But what's interesting is this doesn't work anywhere near as well as that does with almost identical code. It's not, it still doesn't want to go right. Go right. Go left just fine. Go right. This one does speed up better though. But it's got the same problem. If it drifts too much, the wheels will just start moving really slow. So I got to get a good joystick. That's what I've been playing with. I don't know anything else.
Well, I don't have any idea the internal mechanisms for a joystick, whether it's uh, mechanical in some way or it's optical. Have you
It
ever
used to be a
taken one apart?
potentiometer.
This this joystick is a potentiometer, two axis potentiometer.
Okay.
Um,
So that relies on contacts of some sort.
Yeah.
yeah, I would imagine so. I
It's a
am,
carbon flat.
yeah, it's one of those little round potentiometers that you can adjust with. This one here, I'm not real sure how this one works. Um, I'm guessing it's a potentiometer. see what M5 does, which is fine. There's a little microcontroller in that without the microcontroller being attached to it, without the ESP32. There's a little microcontroller in there that talks I2C. So the microcontroller is reading what the joystick's doing and then sending that information to the ESP32 via an I2C bus. Same with this. There's a little STM something, little tiny microcontroller in there, and it's just reading the analog values of this joystick and sending them out over I2C to that guy. So there's really two microcontrollers doing stuff in there. So I don't have that one might have updatable firmware, but I don't think this one does. I don't think I can update the firmware on this one.
Well, the first one you showed was the one you said was having noise at the low levels.
Mm-hmm.
So that could physically be a bit of corrosion or dirt or something like that in the real world there in the contacts.
And I might believe that if this was old, but I just bought the stupid thing.
Yeah, but if it's a potentiometer that involves contacts, I would think that it wouldn't matter about the age if there was a bit of debris in there.
I could shoot some cleaner in there, but I don't know if that would help. I mean, it looks fairly. Take it apart, shoot some cleaner in it. This is one of their newer toys, but this one does something that the other joystick doesn't do. It's got little locks, little limits where you can lock the joystick down or up or into a position. That kind of bugs me. So I could, well, of course it doesn't want to stay down. It'll stay up, left, right, or right, left. Let's see. Let's see what I've got.
Your lunch?
I'll take a moment to speak while he's doing stuff.
Right.
So, you know how we all have boxes of sensors, and there's those kits where you can buy like 50 different sensors to experiment with your different controllers. So I got onto Facebook Marketplace, started looking around, see what different stuff I'm interested in. And I found somebody who was selling an N-bit controller, a NeoPixel ring, and like 30 different sensors. I was like, okay, well, this is cool. $20. I'll buy that. So I contact the seller and went to see what he's interested in. It took him like 6 hours to get back to me. I'm like, okay, this is crazy. Okay, I'm interested. Where can we meet? Like another 10 hours go by, and he's like, oh, well, you can pick this stuff up at my house. Long story short, this ends up being like a 12-year-old kid selling his brother's stuff. I am not kidding you.
Oh my God.
And I left the $20 bill in a yellow envelope on his front porch because he didn't want to meet in person. But I bought his brother's stuff, I guess. Oh.
There was a really wise person told me you teach children that they can talk to anyone that's the same size that they are. So if you have a 6-year-old who's the same physical size as another child, yeah, you can talk to them, but you can't talk to anybody that isn't the same physical size as you. So I'm thinking, Ray, that this 12-year-old that was selling his brother's stuff was following that rule. He wasn't your physical size, and he decided, no, I don't want to meet him in person.
So I thought it was kind of funny, but then it got to the point where Facebook wants me to leave a review for the guy. I'm like, it was a little weird, not having an actual meetup place, or he didn't want to go to a parking lot. He just wanted to put it in a box, go to his driveway. I would take the stuff out of the crate, put the money back into the box, and then I'm supposed to leave. And I'm like, it's a little weird. If I know where you live and I know your name, I'm going to be able to search who you are. And it was just weird. But I left a review of it was timely, good description, no, worries about how much money it was. But everything leads me to think this kid is a 12-year-old kid. And if it really is a kid, I think I should offer him a job in marketing.
So was the product as described in the...
All good. All good. Yeah, I'm not sure it was really his, but it was good stuff.
Well, I have some stuff to me on its way to me from China, and I am very suspicious that it's going to live up to the description on the internet. It doesn't make me. This is really stupid. I want to look at the switch you're holding up, Leroy. So what do? I lean forward so I can get a closer look at it.
Okay.
Let's see if I can't light it up a bit better. Make it a bit easier. Oh no, that's probably worse.
That's the dark side of the moon.
It doesn't self-centering with a spring or something?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because the other one doesn't.
This one's the one that's got the little tabs or something. If you push it too far, it'll lock it into place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is a feature. That's actually something they were selling us on.
It was kind of hard to see, but are those back-to-back potentiometers on the same axle?
There's one on this side and one over here.
I've got a whole bunch of old RC airplane controllers if you want to build your own hand controller.
I've got one of those somewhere.
Got a whole bunch of them.
What box is that in? I've got one somewhere. I've got two of them somewhere. I pulled out of an RC out of a plane. This isn't horribly designed yep, I'm right. I probably can flash this. There's like a JTAG header on the board, so if the firmware needed to be reflashed, you probably could. Joystick drift in this kind of joystick is not an uncommon thing. It that that happens all the time in this kind of. The Nintendo Switch was really bad about it. Oh, now Ray's at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Jersey Mike's, all right. I was generally curious now.
I would have rather gone to Spain like Vicente did.
Yeah, me too.
Uh, how's that song go? I've never been to Spain, but I've been to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They tell me I was born there, but I really don't remember.
Let's see about this one.
Okay, Mike, who was the artist?
Uh, this has got a lot of noise associated with this memory, but I'm thinking it's Three Dog Night.
I have no idea.
I can remember the melody, but other than that, I don't know. Let's see.
Oh yeah. This is different. Quite a bit different. I suspect there's still potentiometers in that though. But the package is
I was correct.
Three Dog Night?
Yep. 1971. So that could account for some of the fog.
Yeah, I remember 71 as being kind of foggy.
Well, in 1971, I wasn't foggy, but I am foggy about 1971 now that I'm not in 1971.
I was 1 year old in 1971. I'm
Oh,
pretty
God.
foggy about 1971.
Uh, I remember 71 primarily for Richard Nixon and the Pentagon Papers and uh, what was the name of the hotel?
Watergate.
Watergate.
Watergate. Oh, yes. And the plumbers. And the
Yeah.
plumbers.
Daniel Ellsberg Psychiatrist Office.
Yep. Okay. I think he's still around, isn't he?
Daniel Ellsberg?
Yeah.
I think he is, yeah. I don't
I
know
mean,
about the psychiatrist. So.
he's probably in his 90s now, but he I think he's still around. I think I saw an interview by him being interviewed not too long ago.
Do we need that printer, Ray? No. Is that just something you found on the marketplace?
And how much does the printhead cost?
What is
This
this?
is the weather report in front of my bathroom.
That's from earlier today, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
was
that should be fairly current.
at noon, I think.
Looking out the window here, it's dark. Hmm.
I unplugged the battery from this joystick and I can't get it to go back in.
Okay.
Throw it away.
Throw it away. Yeah, it's the bad
Sell,
it's the bad
sell,
joystick
sell,
anyway.
sell it in Facebook.
Yeah, $20. $20. Ray, it's a 12-year-old kid. Come and get it. $20. All right, I got it.
That's huge.
Did anybody look up what that printer's worth?
What?
I just looked at the volume of it. I didn't do anything more than that.
Yeah, this is a production quality printer. It's big. It definitely will not fit on the top of a Ford Escort or a Chevette or
Even with the windows down.
with the windows down.
They they want to give it to you or they want you to give them money for it.
He's probably looking to give it to me. He says it's decent. It's just a lot slower than the production one that he just bought. He basically talked to the Mamaki dealer, and the dealer's like, "Hey, you're gonna put $500 into this, and it's still gonna be slowish. So it's your choice what you want to do. But it has the quality, it has the capability. But he says, hey, it's just a printer head, and he doesn't want his shop workers jumping in there and replacing a printer head. But a printer head's really not that hard to replace.
I have a feeling Ray's getting a new printer.
Well,
Right.
eBay shows it used as $399.99 or $4,000, but that's we don't know anything about the condition.
What's a can you find just what a print head costs for it?
Look,
I'm putting joysticks back together or I would look.
I'm thinking I should get this printer and put it in my makerspace.
Of course not. Why would that go back together? Okay. Oh.
Uh, without doing any investigation or anything, the print head looks like they're terribly expensive. $1,800 to $3,400, which sounds ridiculous.
If you could
Who
get
are you
it,
talking to find that price? That's a lot of money.
Yeah. There's like 6 of them on eBay.
if you could get a print head for $1,800, then the printer's still worth four, so you would have two-ish invested in it. So you would still have some money left in it.
But if you have no use for it to begin with, it's
Well,
of zero value.
Yep.
I'm yes, true. But if you could turn it around and flip it for
See,
four,
the thing though is that I have an empty box truck and I'm looking for something to drive home with it and maybe make some money off of it.
yeah, if you could fix it for two-ish and flip it for four pretty quick, then you could make a couple of grand off of it.
Mm.
This goes back to the difference between theory and reality.
Yeah,
No, that's true.
yes, in theory.
We could both be millionaires.
Yeah, I'm not hurting for $20 profit margin there.
Well, the question would be is how hard is it to actually change the print head? Because if it's really time consuming, then it may not be worth it anyway. So
I'll bet you could change a print head in less than 30 minutes.
I don't know. I've never changed a print head. I've always just gone to Craigslist and bought a new printer.
Yeah,
So
but you're not gonna buy this size of a printer off Craigslist. Not likely.
yeah,
But then again,
we
I might put it up for Craigslist.
we used to when we had the shop, we used to find printers like that all the time on Craigslist, and they were relatively inexpensive.
Do you know what the new price on that printer was?
Uh, Probably a lot more than 4 grand. I really don't know what the new price of that printer is.
Again, without doing any research, what pops up here is $36,377, which is amazing.
Yeah. We bought, I don't remember what HP model it was, but we bought an HP printer that it was like a 4 foot printer, and it had like a table in front of it and a table behind it to feed the paper. And I think we got that for like 2 grand. And that was from a place here in Franklin. And we just drove over and said, we'd like to buy this. And they would like, okay. Because we're the only weirdos that wanted a printer that large, other than a print shop.
Yeah.
I think it needed, what did we have to replace? Oh, the door that the would tell the paper to actually feed. The they HP used plastic instead of a nice metal switch. They used like a plastic switch, and somebody had slammed the door down and broke that plastic piece so that the printer didn't know that the door was closed, so it didn't want to work. So they sold it cheap, and all we had to do was replace that stupid switch, and we replaced it with something that was not HP approved, of course, because we were cheap. But it took, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes to change that switch out to something more
Well,
robust.
and that probably included figuring out what was the matter with it to begin with.
Well, I remember when we bought it, the guy handed us the broken part and he said, "This fell out. I don't know where it came from." It wasn't real hard to figure out once you dug in and started looking at it, but yeah, we had a clue about what was wrong with it. What is this, Ray? Oh, what is that?
In feed, out feed.
My laser
no.
today. Cool.
That's my laser machine for today. It's got an in-feed conveyor, out-feed conveyor, a whole deal. But I got to get going, guys, because I'm dead.
Oh, all right. We'll see
Take
you
care.
later.
See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
His battery died on him. Ray's bringing a new printer home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was your first clue?
Empty truck.
Empty truck. Oh, they just want to give it to me. Okay.
I was driving down the road and it just jumped into the back of the truck. I had no control over it.
It just happened. Yeah. Yeah, there was I think they're still around. That there was a print shop, large format print shop here in Franklin. And when I walked into that building, they must have had 40 of these printers. They were just massive. And they had, you know, big 4-foot tables behind them that would catch the print and like a 2-foot table in front of them and it would pull the paper through. And the guy, they sold us the one that was broken for like $2,000. And I'm like, "You've got all these printers." He's like, "Yeah."
Maybe can be used to make keycaps, the fonts or the letters in the keycaps, in the white keycaps.
These were vinyl printers. They would print on vinyl material. They would print
Yeah.
on paper, but they were meant to be printed on vinyl, and you'd run the vinyl through.
But the keycaps are ABS, so they may keep the ink in the key.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
they were made for printing big money.
Big
yeah,
money.
too big. Yeah.
So, it's almost 7, guys. So, like I said, we should be virtual next week, and then March 6th we'll be in Westchester. So, I think
Great.
I think that's all I know. I don't know if I know anything.
I
Let's.
only know I know nothing.
That's
What
right.
was that? That was Dick Cheney, wasn't it? We don't know what we don't know.
We don't know what we don't know.
Yeah, that's good.
So, I think I think we'll call it an evening, and I'll get some dinner,
Great.
and then
I thought you already had dinner.
So
I'll
some
get some
food.
more dinner because my wife knows that I'm going to be
This
hungry.
the second
Always
dinner.
time for second dinner.
I did. I had dinner, but I am so hungry. I can't believe
You
how
can
hungry I actually am.
You can always do something with eggs.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're right. You're
if you
right.
can afford the eggs.
I think the problem is my wife fed me too soon. Now I'm hungry. I'm like super hungry. I can't believe it. I'm going to have to go out there and say I'm hungry. So,
We have a Pavlovian response thing. As soon as we sit on the sofa to look at the recorded news, we're hungry.
yep. So I will see you guys next week, hopefully.
Next week.
Good night.
Bye.
Take care. Good night.